Chris. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Anton. It's an absolute pleasure.
You know what? Since coming up the other week, I've had so many questions from students, and just my Instagram's been going mad asking me about the level 7. And I thought, who better to sit down and talk to than the man himself that created the original, which is you. So, do you want to
Great.
introduce yourself?
I think it falls into two categories. It is a big decision, but I think the decision is, do you want to level up? Do you want to take your business to where it needs to be? And are you taking control of your future, or are you waiting for someone else to take control of your future? So I think what you've done is you've really taken it for us now to the next level. And it's good we've got these questions, because as I say to everyone, the more questions you ask, the more answers you're going to get, and you're going to make the right decision.
Yeah, 100%. I think so many people are saying to me, well, for ages, people were asking me, are you going to do it? Are you not going to do it? And it got to a point and I thought, do you know what? I need to be in control of this. And actually, I've got so much more to lose by not doing it than by doing it. I know for a fact that when these regulations come out, there is going to be queues that are out the door and people aren't going to be able to fit everyone in. I don't want to be part of that rush, panic. We're all busy. We're overwhelmed as it is. A lot of us have kids and have a busy life, and I don't need that extra stress. So,
And for me, very selfishly, in 2019, I had been injecting really for 10 years, and I knew that I was in a very insecure position and I wanted to make my future secure. So after spending 7 years knocking on every awarding body to get this on the RQF, spending my own money and developing level 5 and 7, when it was placed on the RQF, first and foremost, it was for me, because everyone says, oh, will the government make this decision X, Y, and Z? I would flip it and say, can you imagine if we didn't have this regulated qualification?
Yeah.
Then we would definitely have nothing as a foundation to present to the government and say, we have got something that is really solid and that is standardized and it's on the RQF and it's regulated. And so for me, in every industry, that is really the core of every part of every training. So selfishly, first and foremost, it was for me, and then really for me to make sure that we as non-medics are really championing ourselves equally on an equal playing field alongside people, because I know and we've had this kind of debate far too many times. There isn't a non-medic divide. It is just about quality, qualifications, and accountability.
Oh, 100%. And I honestly, the amount of people that we all get them. Do you know what? I actually had someone the other day that turned around and cancelled her booking with us because she said we weren't on the, what is it? The Save Face register.
Right.
And do you know what? It hadn't happened to us in a long time, but I thought this is why we need these regulations, because it would be so much easier at a time like that to be like, no, but I have this, and every other doctor, nurse, medic out there, we all have the same thing. So,
and again, this register here, this Trustpilot here, they're all relative, but actually there's no core central standardized check of competency.
That's it.
And that really is regulated, by Ofqual. So therefore, that's really for me. And the great thing now, there's a second qualification. So we're really excited because there was a slight vulnerability. Yes, we had been championing for 6 years, the level 7, but now we've got another awarding body. So there's a choice. There are now 2 qualifications available, which makes it even stronger, for people to choose. But then I think if you sat on the fence and you're looking at this as being you're going to have to spend this money, then really you're looking it through the wrong lens. Every single person that has joined us has seen an increase in their business, in their profile, in their status, and their kudos, and sets them apart from every single person that's around their territory. because
It's a massive amount of credibility you gain. It's like the second I got featured in like Cosmo or anything like that, it's that instant credibility straight away. What if you're competing against other clinics, they're going to choose you.
Yeah. And I think whilst awards are really relative, something that is on your wall, that's regulated, that's a qualification, that's standard setting, you've got a kite mark.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're never going to remove that. That's the beginning, the middle, and the end.
100%. Yeah, it's like, what do they say? What's it? A uniform. When someone walks in dressed as a policeman or a doctor or not, like you're giving yourself that, which
100%
so deserved, because there is so many people across the board that are so deserving of that credibility and have worked so hard, and yeah, they absolutely deserve that.
And it was great seeing you here last week, because you honestly, I'd never met you before. You came in, you were so humble, and you've done an incredible role within the industry for pitching it to be the best of the best. You built an incredible business, but you've done it in such a way that's credible, and also you help so many people. You share everything that you know, and very different, because obviously you're spearheading the fact that you're helping coach people to build better businesses, and obviously we're doing qualifications. It's very different, but I did see a lot of similarities. For me, it's about sharing best practice. It's about giving everything and then making people better, because if they're better, then we'll become better.
Oh, 100%. And I also think it doesn't matter who you are or, you know, how experienced you are. I'd always say to anyone, I'd always like invite them to be a learner and be a sponge. And I think that's how you get to wherever you want to get to.
But don't you think positive people and people who are successful are infectious? People say, oh, I want to be, but the key part that a lot of people miss is you see an opportunity, you see a solution, you make it happen, you open doors that are not open. And for me, it is about finding your circle.
Yeah, but I also think, a little bit off topic, like the biggest risk, so many people are talking about the risks of investing and this and the other. There is no better investment than yourself, one. Number two, there is no greater risk than not taking one. So many people have this like lack of self-awareness. They think sitting in the comfort zone is where they should be at. You're never going to grow from, you know,
well, we've got a seat at the table because we are present within a qualification. But as I said, where would we be now? Because this qualification took 7 years to develop. It took 7 years to get it on the framework. Can you imagine if there was going to be some debate now about why these people who haven't got a qualification and there isn't one available? Well, I can tell you now, it was going to be a much more conclusion that the door would have been closed. At least now we have got opportunity. So I think that's the viewpoint. And I can't reiterate, every single person that has qualified in level 7 has seen a massive percentage increase in the number of clients, the number of services, and they set themselves apart. And I think that is the real ringing bell kite mark kudos point of why I would invest. Imagine spending this amount of money on Google Ads. Imagine spending this amount of money on leaflets. Imagine spending it on a new website. Imagine spending it on a film, on some kind of, you know, influencer or whatever.
If you break it down and look at the return that you're going to get, it's really not that much. But people are just set on, but then they won't hesitate to spend that on a new designer bag or this and the other. Like, an investment is just that. It is an investment, and it will bring you a return if you invest in the right thing. But
we all know that in any economical downturn, it does set the people apart that actually truly are the people who are going to make it happen. You know, there is no second decision. You are going to make that decision. You're going to take the risk and you're going to do it, and then you are going to make it happen and make it a success.
Yeah, 100%. So with that in mind, obviously I've been speaking to people asking questions. Why, I think we've covered the first two. So many people have been asking me, you know, what is the access route to level 7 and how long does it take? Because I think a big reason people aren't doing it is because they think this is going to take them like 5 years and all of the rest of it. So
Well, really, you've got to kind of sit in two categories. You are someone who is brand new to aesthetics, and your background may be beauty, or you may be PMU, or you may be coming from a different background. You will come in at a level 3. So you'll be a level 3 qualification, and then you will move forward, and there is a choice in both of the awards. So you would come in and you would, almost like going through a ladder, you would go up the ladder and go through the levels. If you are within industry, and this is the key thing that's really good at this present moment, because there are a lot of people out there, over 20,000 people, who have got 3 years or more industry experience, and they have good training, they're running good businesses. However, they are CPD or they're in-house certificates. And an in-house certificate, or CPD, which stands for Continual Professional Development. Now, continual professional development in all other industries is something that's given after you get your qualification. So every year you'll add to your upskill by doing some form of continual professional development. Now, what people went from was just pieces of paper to saying, oh, we're now CPD accredited. And then everyone began to go, oh, well, that must mean that we have a qualification. You don't have a qualification. It's just another stronger certificate, but it's an in-house certificate.
what do they need on their certificate if they think they have 3 years?
It's about industry experience, and the key thing that we do here at A Training is, as part included within the price, we will do a competency skill check at the beginning. This competency skill check, which is where you came in last week.
And I learned so much, by the way, from that.
Thank you. And you were, honestly, you were so humble. And Laura loved you. So when it comes down to it, we would then give you a feedback on your skill. And like a driving test, as a pre-driving test, we would say you are ready to go in for your driving test. You are now ready. Your industry experience makes you competent. So that means we do not need to train you anymore practically. You hold all the same modules that are needed, which is basic botulinum toxin, advanced botulinum toxin, basic foundation fillers, nose to mouth marionettes, then advanced cheeks, lips, and you must use cannula. So if you have those disciplines, they're over 3 years, and you have been working with insurance for 3 years or more, then you can come to us to be skill checked. Now, there are people out there in forums that are saying that you need to be 5 years or more. Well, because we've created the level 7 as a skill check, we're able to do competency checks, which allows you to have 3 years or more experience. So that's the beginning point.
And if someone doesn't have 3 years, then they need to, what level would they need to start at?
They would need to come in, and then they would need to, either with the qualified, they need to have an underpinning level 4 qualification, such as level 4 in aesthetics practice, or IPL laser, or micropigmentation, or with the actual level 7 with Procore, you need to have a level 3, which will then lead you through to a level 6 and then a level 7. So there are 2 different lanes, slightly different. And the main difference between the 2 is both amazing qualifications. The Qualify one is a certificate which has 30 units. And the actual Procore one has a diploma, which is 60 units. So the units of credit is how it's assessed. So the Procore one is assessed more really as a creative. So for people who learn more visually, and it's more like a workbook situation. So it's not easier, it's still in depth, but it's a different style of learning. The Qualify is more assignments, it's more academic writing, Harvard referencing, citation. And a lot of people from industry who are more creative skill set tend to learn better with a workbook and a Q&A. And a more
the workbook and the Q&A, that's the R7. And it's the other one that's the original.
So the one that we're promoting presently to kind of, if you like, upskill the industry, which you're helping us with, which is the one that you're doing, is what's called R7. So R7, you have 3 years or more industry experience. We'll skill check you for competency. Then we're going to enroll you on level 6. So level 6 has mandatory units. And also now we've taken it forward with where the industry's gone. We're very excited because in there is skin boosters, fat dissolving, polynucleotides, cryopen. There's lots of other services that you can offer your clients. And then finally, once you've done a workbook and you've done the mandatory units and the units for 6, your skills check for 7, finally you do a workbook for 7, you're finished with an endpoint assessment. And to not confuse it, that is just a repeat, very similar to what the skills check one was, but now there will be an EQA present in the room from the awarding body to standardize and cross-check competency, so that it's not just a training that set the standard, it's being checked externally.
And what do you think, I get people asking me all the time, would you prefer people to message you all of their qualifications that they have, and then you can get back to them with a starting point of where they need to begin and this, that, and the other? Would that be the best?
The basic part really is to engage, really, that you have the criteria as a minimum set. So we can upload your certificates on WhatsApp, and we can check your certificates and validate them. And then once you've got 3 years or more, it's a little bit like getting your insurance for your car. You give the information, and that information has to be credible, because if not, right from the beginning, and you don't tell the truth or you don't validate your certificates, then when you come for your skills check, we'll find out, and then obviously you're going to have to do other units prior to it. So right from the beginning, the onus is on you. It's very simple. You have 3+ years certificates in all of the requested modalities, and then you tick, and then you're going to move forward. And if people are confused, they can take photographs of the certificate, they can upload them, and we've got a team that can do that for them.
Yeah, and you can let them know at what point on the ladder that they
Absolutely.
So in terms of more questions, I get this one all the time. How long does it take to complete the level 7?
So if you're a beginner and you're coming to industry with no skill set, that's the modality in aesthetics, it is a minimum of 12 months. However, it can take up to 3 years, depending.
You have to go through all the levels, you mean?
All the levels, practice, and most importantly, is blended learning, how much time you in your lifestyle have to spend doing assignments or the workbook. So people who can commit, you can be 12 months. Most people on average we find are about 16 months if they've not got any experience. If you're R7, you're in industry, you've got a minimum of 3 years, you're looking between 3 to 9 months.
Amazing, which is amazing. I think so many people have this thing in their head, like I said earlier, that it's going to be years, and so many people in my inbox are ready to rock and roll with this R7.
The problem, unfortunately, we're not here to criticize other training academies. Other training academies hook the person, onboard them and leave them. They're not, we have 3 IQAs that mark every assignment.
I've heard that a lot. People waiting.
Everything's there, it's all done.
Yeah, which is just horrible when you've done all the work and then you're sat there waiting. And do the practical days have to be done together? Can they be spread out? How many practical days are there? Talking specifically about the
So generally, practical days cohorts are every month, and we've got 12 educators, 21,000 square foot set training centre here. So we've got really good teachers, educators. So we've got the ability to intake up to 5 different cohorts each month, but the dates generally, they're anything from 2 to 4 days per month, depending on which part of the qualification you're entering. If it's R7, which specifically your guys are asking about, as part of the level 6, you'll be doing 8 practical days, blended learning online workbook, and then an endpoint assessment. And then for your level 7, you've got 2 specific days you'll be coming here, a pre-skills check, an endpoint assessment, and then a blended learning workbook in between. So in total, it's about 10, 11 days.
Not that much, is it at all?
No.
I don't know where this, it's like this, the word level 7 is this, oh, it's like this, and it's really not like that. When you actually break it down, it's not like that at all.
No.
Another question, I think we've spoken about that earlier. How do I know it will meet government requirements?
Well, we don't. But for me, I flip it and I'll say, what else have we got a flag in the ground that's kudos that states actually as a non-medic I hold this level 7 qualification that's regulated.
Doesn't make sense.
Can the government really then make a decision to say we're going to get rid of all of these people that have got level 7?
We are giving the government what they want on a plate, on a silver platter.
Yeah, with a bow.
Anyway, with a lovely bow on it. I don't think there's any way, if we're all walking around with this, they're going to turn around, and there's just no way. There's not. I really don't think that.
What I like to say is that I have not done this from ego. I've done it really selfishly for myself. However, I do think that the infight that's going on, they don't realise that actually there's one simple lane here: get the qualification. Then you're,
the government are busy. They've got enough on their plate. They want an easy life. This is the easiest choice for them. Tick the box. Do you know what I mean? Like it's there waiting for them.
Well said.
What is the difference between Ofqual and qualify?
Right. Ofqual is the regulatory body that makes sure that all awarding bodies are doing what they should do. So Ofqual is a regulatory government body that oversees awarding bodies and cross-checks and makes sure that they're doing everything correctly. Qualify is an awarding body, like VTCT, City and Girls. So they're part of a set of over 350 awarding bodies.
Okay, amazing. And how hard is it? I feel like we've covered that. It's not bad at all. Like I really thought it was.
You know what I always say is that there's never a failure of a learner. It's down to the teacher changing the way that they teach. And what we're really proud of, very much like you've done with your empire that you've built there, the amount of support, and everybody's individual bespoke. No one fits one specific shape or colour. And we like that. So we do Zooms, tutorials, unlimited development days.
As well, when I came the other week, and I'm a perfectionist, I'm a people pleaser, and I don't know why, I get nervous about anything. And one of the first things Laura said to me is like, how do you learn best? And I was like, oh, I learn best like this. She was like, cool, let me go and get you some pictures. And she brought them in. It was so personal to me. And I was like, oh, but what if? And she was like, babe, like, I'm here to support you. Like, we want you to pass. Like, in that is, I felt so supported with you. So yeah, like anyone listening to this, genuinely from the bottom of my heart.
And I think the great thing about here is we've got 15,000 models database. We've got it's crazy through this place some weeks, the amount of people.
Models, haven't you? Like
and that's where people learn. See, do, repeat. See, do, repeat. And I think that's the bank of models unlimited, that you've got that ability to keep continuing to do it. But at the same time, some people are very much, I get it, I've got blended learning, I've got the support, I'll tap into it if I need it, I can get on with it.
Yeah.
So both work.
Yeah, whoever you are. But I know so many people in this industry are very much practical learners, and I've been to so many different training academies and had to go home, come back another month just because my models haven't shown. And that's a tough pill to swallow. We're busy. Everyone's got a busy life. A lot of us have kids, this, that, and the other. And that's one,
But I think, you know, in this industry, it's not to overpromise, underdeliver. You know, we will make you the best level 7 aesthetic practitioner, and that timeline is dependent upon the effort that you can bring to that door.
And
we will match it and we will deliver, but the timeline is dependent upon how much time you can commit. But the practical days are set there, they're every month. You know, we've got people from all over Ireland, you know, Scotland, you know.
And you can definitely, I've had so many people say, like, is this realistic to do whilst working full time? I think if you're working 9 till 5, then obviously that's something you'll need to look at. But if you're in clinic, you can definitely work it around clinic.
Excuse me, I got a WhatsApp from you saying, where's my onboarding workbook? And you're having twins, you've got a business, you've got an empire, you've got
the day I enrolled.
You're doing it. So if you can do it, you know, you're a great ambassador for the industry, and juggling all of these plates, as you say, you're very creative. However, if you're given all parts to the jigsaw puzzle, you can do it.
100%. You've got to learn to juggle.
Definitely.
It's part of the game, part of the fun. Another one, is there a payment plan?
What we've done is an introductory offer that's set up, but after that date, we unfortunately cannot do anything other than 50% upfront and then a 6 months kind of payment plan for the remainder. We have committed with a price match to make sure that everyone possible can do this. So that means that the margins and the profit are not that great. So we really have to take a 50% deposit.
Yeah. And in terms of the cost of not doing level 7 right now, beyond the actual cost, what do you think the true cost of not enrolling in this right now is? Like, why is it timely now? Why does it matter now?
Well, if you break it down to me, R7, the cost is 10 clients. But I know if you do your R7, you will get extra 100 clients just from advertising and promoting that you become a level 7 aesthetic practitioner. You're going to set yourself apart. And for me, I know that when I placed my certificate on the wall, that's the proudest moment. 2019 for me, you know, at 56 years of age, I kind of said to myself, you know, this is it now. I've achieved what I set out to achieve. There is anything higher, and that's my benchmark now, to just make sure that I keep to that level.
Do you know, when I was talking to Sam months ago and I said, look, do I do this or do I not? He said, what will this mean to you? And I said, do you know what? It will mean peace of mind. He was
definitely.
There's nothing, you can't put a price on peace of mind. Doesn't matter anything in life. If I'm like flapping over a decision, it's what will help me sleep at night. I've got so much peace of mind, and I feel so much more rested knowing that I've got this in the bag.
And 100%, when I did the level 7, I learned so much. And whatever level you come in, you're not just paying that amount and we're printing, or the awarding body's going to print you and you're going to wait X amount of months for your certificate. There is new learning, education, development, that you will become stronger in your skill set. You will gain knowledge.
Yeah. I can't believe how much I learned the other day. Like, you can never learn it all, ever.
No.
They were amazing. But is there anything that we want to cover that we haven't?
No, I am really honoured to be part of your group, and I think it's great to meet you when you came up. We always kind of feel in any form of industry, I'm a bit of a lone ranger really, in that we've got a great team here. You know, we've got all the team, no one's worked for me for less than 5 years, brilliant. And I'm a little bit protective, but you know, you came in and it was like I'd known you for years, because I just think you're so approachable, and it was very quick to see how you've done so well. And I know your girls are the same around you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm not very good at taking compliments, but thank you very much.
It's true. I'm not blowing smoke. It was definitely true.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining me. I've had so many questions, and yeah, I'm sure this would have cleared up so much for so many people. If any of you are watching this, I promise you I would not advocate or recommend a company that I don't truly recommend. You guys have looked after me so well, and I'm so grateful, and I know how many thousands of people you've impacted so far and will continue to impact along the way. If you are about to get in the bath, make your dinner, before you go, drop them a little message via the box below There's no harm in asking. If you don't ask, you don't get, you don't know where you're gonna, it might be that actually you don't need half of the stuff that you think you need, and it might only take half as long. You never know. So pop a little message in the box and one of the team will help.
And you're one question away from being factual and actual with the answer, because we will have the real true answer. So fill out your details, ask away, however silly it might feel, and we will give you the facts.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Antonia. Cannot appreciate this.
No, thank you so much.